Black Americans are a unique group given the circumstances of the transatlantic slave trade. While black people in the Americas share the same common history, within the last century, foundational black American culture and history from the United States specifically has greatly influenced the world. The evidence is without a doubt clear, from some of the greatest innovations in technology to creating multiple genres of music, the arts, and most notable of them all, modern pop culture itself. It takes a special kind of people surviving unique circumstances to produce such results. I, as a black person from the Americas, specifically from the island nation of Haiti, growing up primarily in the United States, has attributed to my profound respect for black Americans and their contributions, for spearheading and shouldering most of the worldwide revolution against westernized oppression. Speaking of revolution, it's also rare that someone from outside of the United States, let alone a non-black person from a homogeneously non-black culture, to create a work of fiction that depicts a true sense of understanding of the black American experience. Enter Wazara Shizuya's Blaster Knuckle, a 3-volume seinen manga from Japan with a black main character. Yo. Not many are aware of Blaster Knuckle, mainly because people who primarily take interest in reading a manga kinda do so after the said series has been given an anime adaptation. It's even worse for seinen enthusiasts since most popular anime are depictions of shonen series. Following the untimely success of Akira's adaptation, every once in a while you'll find a popular seinen like Hellsing, Ghost in the Shell, or Parasite. It'll surface and capture audiences. Like the minority who are aware of its existence, I came upon Blaster Knuckle several years ago as a consequence of being caught up with the Berserk manga. Longing for more Berserk-like stories to read, I came upon a picture of Guts fist bumping a random black character, and my immediate reaction was,
"Who the f*** is that guy?
Immediately started digging, and long story short, I found out he's the main character of his own manga. Now you know damn well, no Japanese writer or artist ever creates a series focusing on a black character. Sure, they'll delve into Vikings, medieval Europe, Renaissance Europe, Chinese or even Indian historical fiction, but any type of black or African descended stories, never. So I thought this was a parody, but lo and behold, it wasn't. Blaster Knuckle is an action horror manga set in the 19th century American Wild West, several years after the Civil War. Following the protagonist of the story, Victor Freeman, Ogun's beard. I can't stand that stereotypical last name for fictional black characters now, but I'll give it a pass since this is an older manga. Victor is a towering, stoic, gun-tooting, I don't take no mess type of anti-hero. The kind of protagonist in old westerns whose aura is mysterious, but actions reveal his true grit. He's an outlaw known as Blood Rain Victor, wanted by the law for his reputation in the public for killing white civilians and alleged white supremacists. In reality, and unbeknownst to the public, Victor is a beast hunter, trained by a secret society called the Sylvan Crews. So all the people he is labeled killing are actually shape-shifting beast demons who revert to being human after they are killed. Kinda reminds you of a certain other manga, huh? Victor has been trained to be the ultimate hunter with peak-level human senses, strength, speed, expert skills in marksmanship, and a high-level knowledge in the sweet science. His main weapons consist of a double-barrel shotgun, his boxing skill, and his trump card, a unique weapon encased on his left arm that allows him to make his boxing skills even deadlier by shooting 4 shotgun shells from his knuckles upon impact, the Blaster Knuckle. Blaster Knuckle is revolutionary, especially for the fact that this manga was published 30 years ago, during a time when black characters in popular manga series like Dragon Ball were following the old American minstrel portrayal. For a Japanese creator, Shizuya was ahead of the game, given how in modern times, big media wigs are desperately including their own versions of black characters via forced diversity, resulting in race swaps, tokenization, and lack of character development due to a mass amount of lazy writing. Blaster Knuckle is likely a trendsetter that likely influenced successful creations down the line, from Afro Samurai to Django Unchained, and even mediocre messes like Yasuke. Again, for its time period, it has some of the best black character designs and art in general, mirroring its sibling series at the time, Berserk, even though it was published 3 years apart. But it only makes sense because Miria and Shizuya were friends growing up, and likely the similarities seen between Berserk and Blaster Knuckle were results of both creators exchanging like-minded concepts and ideas with one another. Which is why both main characters, Guts and Victor, share eerie similar attributes throughout their stories during the early 90s. The only significant difference between the two would be their respective story settings and obvious racial identities. This manga gets unfairly labeled as Berserk-like, or Victor being called the Black Guts. It's a bit disrespectful. While I do understand and do see the strikingly similar character traits between Guts and Victor, having similar peak human ability to defeat their foes and even manga sequences. For instance, I think a lot of people are forgetting that the 90s was a golden era of seinen and mature storytelling, especially in comics. Returning to the main point, Blaster Knuckle was revolutionary for its time, being the only Japanese manga with a black protagonist. You can tell that Shizuya did extensive research to flesh out the plot, very evident by how it reflected the black experience in the American Southwest during the Jim Crow era through the eyes and experiences of the protagonist. While Victor represented former enslaved Africans who gained their freedom becoming freedmen. Get it? Victor being a freed man, Victor Freeman, to his origins being a traumatized child who witnessed his strong-willed father burned at the cross for being perceived as a threat to white devils cloaked in white hoodies, to being denied a drink at a public tavern and automatically being presumed guilty until proven innocent due to his racial makeup. Although he should be considered a hero to most of his kind for his alleged reputation for freely ending the lives of Klansmen, he is shunned and avoided by his own in fear of what those in power might do if they are seen associated with Victor. It's a bit surreal to see a creator from outside the black community willing to understand, accept, and implement true accounts of black history in their work for the world to experience. Not to mention, coupling that with fantastic action sequences pertaining to Victor's boxing ability. I've come to realize that Shizuya was probably a boxing fan, not only because he made his protagonist a heavyweight boxing champion, but because it reflects on how dominant black American boxers tend to be in the sport. Blaster Knuckle only spans 20 chapters, cutting the story short on a cliffhanger that left readers wondering where it could have gone. It's unfortunate that it wasn't given the opportunity to develop as Berserk did with the Golden Age arc, because if it did, I think that would have been 4 instead of the big 3 of seinen today. This could have been the rival manga to Berserk throughout its 30-year run, but I think I understand what happened. Although the action and thrill would have been received well, the series was likely cancelled due to low audience retention based on the demographic of the protagonist. This was the early 90s after all. Anime and manga were a niche pastime outside of Japan, and due to the homogeneous makeup of the country, I presume Japanese readers were not interested in a plot involving a black man, unlike a white protagonist such as Guts. All I know is Blaster Knuckle was way ahead of its time. Hopefully I can find the physical copies of these volumes to add to my collection. Also, if Shizuya Wazarai happens to see this video, I hope this ensures that you're appreciated for your early work on Blaster Knuckle. Please continue the story. I hope you all enjoyed the rest of the Black History Month. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this content and subscribe to your boy. Check out the links in the description and the first comment pinned to the top. You know the vibes. It's Kaizoku Sleven. Appreciate you.